Welcome back to Piers Morgan Uncensored. For not swerving attacks or protest pickets, contemporary comedians face the ever-present threat of being cancelled. Jimmy Carr decided to run that gauntlet this weekend.
Double shot of bad news over the past week. First, Netflix canceled her debut animated series, Pearl, which was going to be about some woke little 12-year-old.
While there are some other people still doubling down on their negative response to...
They have a kind of certain banter which Harry used to thoroughly enjoy, pretty sexist and misogynist and so on and so on. And they are spraying around all their normal jokes, and Meghan is picking them up on every single one, and it's driving. Once hailed as a modern-day fairy tale, Meghan Markle's journey from Hollywood obscurity to royal grandeur has spiraled into something far more humiliating, a cautionary tale of ego, entitlement, and empty ambition. In what can only be described as a catastrophic fall from grace, critics like Tom Bower and Piers Morgan have publicly eviscerated Meghan for her shallow grasp of royalty and relentless self-promotion. Now mocked as a glorified dropshipper peddling jam jars and skincare, Meghan has gone from the halls of Windsor to the chaotic world of influencer marketing. At Sandringham, a weekend shooting party, which is quite normal for Harry, he just thought they'd all get on together. But in fact, the opposite. I mean, Meghan is someone who doesn't hold herself back from complaining about people's way of manner, the way they talk, the way they behave, and all the rest of it. And the British public is not buying the rebrand. Tom Bower, one of Meghan's fiercest critics, summarized her downfall with brutal clarity: she's a one-trick pony who used the royal name then threw it away. After leaving the royal family, Meghan's focus shifted quickly from public service to personal profit. Her ventures no longer speak of legacy or duty but of dollar signs and digital marketing. As ever, her new lifestyle brand launched with a collection of jams and oils that critics immediately called overpriced and directionless. It's hard to believe that someone once holding a royal title now spends her time peddling products on a website mimicking wellness influencers half her age. The transformation is not just shocking, it's humiliating. What was amusing was on the way home from Sandringham, they're all texting each other, "Oh my God, what a nut. How on earth can he stay with her?" And the same then happened when they went to Tommy Insk's wedding in Jamaica, which is a great friend of Harry's, who in the end was banned from the dinner after their wedding. Few people have held Meghan accountable as directly as Piers Morgan. In a scathing broadcast, he tore into her obsession with playing the perpetual victim. She doesn't want privacy, she wants attention, but only on her terms, he snapped. Piers described her career post-Megxit as a masterclass in manipulation, accusing her of using emotional narratives to deflect criticism and build a brand. Meghan's interviews are rarely about real causes, they are about her. Her Spotify podcast was filled with carefully crafted monologues centered around her struggles, while the people she claimed to uplift barely got a word in. For Piers and many others, Meghan's story isn't about growth, it's about grievance. A duchess who refused to be royal saw all these celebrities filing in. Exactly, they've known her about 3 minutes, yeah, if that. And Meghan was really, she controls everything. So it was a great cameo. Tell me about the Queen. The Queen apparently, you report, didn't want Meghan at Philip's funeral. Why? Reports from palace insiders consistently point to one truth: Meghan never truly wanted to be a working royal. She bristled at royal protocols, resisted traditional duties, and clashed with staff. Royal engagements were allegedly beneath her, and her presence often came with an air of discomfort. One former aide noted that Meghan wanted the spotlight, not the structure. She was more interested in the global fame that came with the title than in the responsibility that came with the role. She didn't want the attention diverted from Philip. If Meghan had been there, she would have got all the attention. I mean, the Harry walk up the hill with William, that just showed how the media was focused on the reconciliation. Everything after Oprah. So when she said to one of her aides, "Thank goodness Meghan isn't coming," it was telling. The idea of service, humility, and placing others before self, core values of the monarchy, never seemed to resonate with her. She wanted the crown, not the commitment. While Meghan desperately tries to stay relevant with product launches and PR gimmicks, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, continues to define what royal dignity looks like. This year, Catherine didn't even attend the Ascot, and the media still couldn't stop talking about her. The Queen that kicked them off the balcony at the Jubilee, well, I think it was the Queen, but also I'm sure Charles and William had a big say in that. They weren't going to allow Netflix to dominate their big celebration. When I read quite a few of the anecdotes in the extracts, there's a lot of diva-like behavior from Meghan Markle, very controlling about her image. When she does a Vogue, that's influence. Meghan, despite all her efforts, can't generate that kind of attention without controversy. Catherine never needs to chase headlines, her quiet strength, elegance, and dedication to causes do the work. The comparison is devastating. Where Meghan screams for attention, Catherine commands it effortlessly. It's the perfect contrast between genuine class and curated chaos. She had no idea what she's really getting into. Oh, on the contrary, I think she's very scheming, very clever woman. No, I think, surprisingly, at the end of the book, I realized how successful she'd been. Here was a woman who was nothing. I mean, born, broken family, the whole thing. Meghan's post-royal career is littered with flops and forgotten projects. Her children's book The Bench was met with lackluster reviews. The Spotify podcast Archetypes was cancelled after just one season. The Netflix deal produced a bland docuseries that failed to move hearts. Broken family, the whole thing. An actress, unknown, all the rest of it. Becomes a global star, which is what she wanted when she was about 9 or 10. She said to her father, "I want to be famous. I want to walk down the red carpet." And she has now done that. She sparks dialogue each time Meghan launches with a flashy announcement, a Vogue photo shoot, or a teary-eyed interview, and then silence. No follow-through, no impact. It's a repeating cycle, announce, dramatize, disappear. That she could be a great success, and by marrying Harry, she did it. So, are they in trouble now though? Is the Sussex brand on the downward level? A lot of American friends of mine are completely done with them, which they weren't even a year ago. Sure. And this may, as ever, critics fear, be just another shiny package with nothing inside. In short, Meghan's career is starting to look like a PR graveyard. Influencer Meghan, from palaces to product placement, or however you call it. It's hard to believe that just a few years ago, she was walking beside the Queen at royal engagements. Fast forward to today, and she's carefully arranging product shots for social media, promoting jam jars as if they were groundbreaking innovations. Her brand, as ever, has been slammed for its overpriced, underwhelming offerings, with many mocking her for turning into an Instagram influencer, without producing any hard evidence to support any of these claims. On the contrary, actually telling untruths. And I think that was terrible. That's really why I wrote the book, because I just thought this woman is really doing something quite dreadful to Britain. And Harry is trying to sell a lifestyle no one believes she lives. Critics say she's chasing relevance through aesthetics, not authenticity. Gone is the Duchess who once sat at Buckingham Palace. What remains is a woman trying to survive on curated posts and collapsing credibility. The royal family moves on. Harry fell in love with her in this ludicrous way and has gone along as her accomplice. What about Thomas Markle in all this? He's had a big stroke. I'm told he can't even talk at the moment. He's not heard a word from his daughter. He brought her up for years on his own and wasn't at the wedding, for reasons we all know. But what's your sense about him? Well, I went down to Mexico and spent 2 days with him, and of course, you can't have anything other than sympathy for a man who was. Public approval of the royal family has slowly improved since Harry and Meghan exited. King Charles has focused on legacy. Prince William and Princess Catherine have taken on heavier workloads with grace. Meanwhile, Meghan continues to stir drama across the Atlantic. The contrast is stark. One side is building the institution's future, the other is selling soap. The monarchy is showing it never needed Meghan, but Meghan clearly still needs the monarchy. Once upon a time, people gave Meghan the benefit of the doubt. But public patience has worn thin. Her repeated claims of racism, bullying, media victimization, and royal cruelty have started to sound rehearsed. Meghan and Harry's tell-all with Oprah drew sympathy at first, but the more she talks, the more contradictions emerge. Even her Netflix documentary contained moments called out by fact-checkers as misleading or exaggerated. At this point, her image relies more on grievance than goodwill. You can only cry wolf so many times before the crowd stops listening. Meghan's relationship with Hollywood is now more awkward than aspirational. Though she was never known by anyone before getting married to Harry, while she once dreamed of being the next global icon, she's become the guest nobody's inviting. Sources claim A-listers have distanced themselves, worried about the drama that follows the Sussex brand. Meghan's failed Spotify deal sent shockwaves through entertainment circles. If she couldn't even sustain a podcast with full creative freedom, what else can she deliver? In a city where results matter, Meghan is now being seen as a risk, not an asset. It's a silent snub but a powerful one. When the trick is over, so is the game. Meghan's entire post-royal strategy revolved around one trick, using her royal status to build a brand. But that trick is old now. The titles don't hold weight outside palace gates. Her narrative of royal victimhood has run dry, and the audience, they are no longer enchanted. Without the Duchess title and the global sympathy that came with her departure, what remains is a celebrity scrambling for significance. The irony, she left royalty to find independence, but now clings to royal relevance to sell jam. A true one-trick pony, and even that trick is wearing out. And so, Meghan Markle's journey has become less about royalty and more about reinvention gone wrong. Once a duchess with the world at her feet, she now clutches to fading fame with jars of jam and recycled narratives. The British media has moved on. The royal family has moved up. And the public? They've woken up. What was once seen as a bold escape from tradition is now viewed as a blueprint for self-destruction. Driven by ego, not empathy, Meghan's tale isn't a royal tragedy, it's a masterclass in missed opportunities. And if the headlines are anything to go by, her reign over the spotlight may already be.